Say what? Look. I'm on tour right
It's
now.
the new OGs.
The New OGs is a State and Madison Entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that lets them get solar power at no cost. If you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, you can raise the value of your property, and you can do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, not only can Solar Masters only work with you if they can save you money, Solar Masters will actually award you a $500 cash card for going solar anytime in 2023. Solar Masters is a Black-owned company working with North America-based solar panel makers who have over 30 years of solar experience, and they even have a referral program that pays out a minimum of $250 per referral. So get over to www.gosolarmasters.com.
Bobby!
Yes, sir. Yes.
Bobby!
Yes.
Hey.
XL. There he is.
I know this is our first show back, and I just want to make sure that everybody understands the Solar Masters promotion.
Let's make sure they got it right. Yes.
Okay. Now, if I heard you right, solar energy is cheaper than the regular energy.
This is true.
You can save money.
You're going to save money on your bill. Yep.
And you're going to give people a $500 gift certificate card that they can spend on anything they want.
Yeah, so it costs nothing to go solar, right? You don't have to put up any money. It's all covered by the incentives. You get a cheaper bill, and then when you get the panels on your roof, you get a $500 cash card that you can use for whatever.
Damn, man. That's better than Joe Biden getting the GOP to commit to some shit that they said they was going to do 500 times on TV the day before and say they were going to do it on live TV. That's just better than that.
Well, if you want to back a big business into the corner like Joe Biden did, get over to www.gosolarmasters.com and get in contact for a free consultation. Order for somebody that you know. The new OG is also...
Hey, did State Farm call you yet?
Hey.
DMs are open. The New OGs is also brought to you by the Save Toby Jones Tour. Catch Rob Hines, one of our guest co-hosts, one of our co-hosts here, famously known as Toby Jones from Jones Barbecue and Foot Massages. He embarks on his brand new tour starting in Indianapolis at Crackers Comedy Club this weekend, live and in effect. And speaking of the man, there he is right there, Rob Hines. How are you doing, brother?
Outstanding.
Yeah?
Yes. Everything is going well. My publicist, I got a publicist.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
First of all, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to New OGs after a long hiatus. We've had a couple of stop-ins, but we are back. You have a publicist now since we've gotten back in the air, right?
Yes. And she is teaching me exactly how to work.
You're very proud.
Yes. Lipstick royalty. And they are teaching me exactly the proper way to work this ass to get the money back.
So they've got you like taking twerking lessons? What's happening?
Bang, bang. And little did I know my ass is a cash machine.
Hey.
Now the credit cards smell dirty, but
but they still spin.
As long as they say approved, it don't matter what it smells like. You know what I mean? It's all good.
You can deal with it elsewhere. What's going on with y'all?
It's good, man. Well, I want to talk a little bit more about this. So you got the Save Toby Jones tour that's starting, right? This is kicking off. Starting at Crackers Comedy Club. That sounds amazing. So you're there this whole weekend? How many shows you doing?
I'll be there. Yes, I'll be there Friday, Saturday. Then I'm going back for Valentine's Day, a special night of love.
Ooh,
with me.
Okay, so a Friday, Saturday, and then a Tuesday night special Valentine's Day.
Yes, you know you want to come on out here. We're gonna do it right enough for y'all to finger bang afterwards.
And then, that's where you use the Chinese finger trap, right? Is that the? So once you're done with Crackers, where are you heading to after that?
We're at the Laugh Factory, and that'll be on March the 1st.
Okay.
So it's gonna be me doing me, and everybody else that's there.
What's the website before you? Is that a Wednesday?
That's a Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay, that's a great night there too. That's a fun night. Those hump day shows.
First of all, I want you to follow me on YouTube. Please follow the YouTube page. Robert_L_Hines. Also, the Save Toby Jones tour. That is a store now. You can get yourself a hoodie, you get a t-shirt, you get a mug, You dig? And next month we'll have aprons because when the barbecue starting, and oh my God, we are officially branding a grill. Yes. So it's gonna be a bunch of things coming out.
That's hilarious.
March the 3rd, I'm in Love's Park at My Gordito.
Okay.
And it's gonna be
Spanish show.
Yeah, it's a nice little spot. Yeah, it's a nice little spot.
It is not an all Spanish show. That's a homie out of Rockford.
Is that Marcos?
Marcos.
Yeah.
I like doing Marcos joints.
Man.
I like doing his joints, man. I just like him as a little fuzzy little dude.
I love him, man. I love that dude. He's one of my oldest friends of comedy. Again, shout out Marcos Laros.
Marcos Laros, love shout outs. What's going on with you, X, man? Welcome back, man.
Hey, what's groovy? What's poppin' with me, man? I'm back out grinding, doing things. I'm in Chicago Ridge. By the time this airs, it'll be the day after I'm at Chicago Ridge. Next week on the 14th, I am part of a super jam. We keep the comics on the show low because it's sneaky links, but Bobby Hill is a part of it. I'm a part of it. Sneaky links at the Hollywood Palm Cinema in Naperville. We got a really dope thing going on there. They serve food. The seats are super comfy. It's a dope vibe. So I
love that place, man. That's dope as hell, man. I that's amazing. Y'all better go to that. I mean, like, really, it is wonderful. That place is really.
Yeah, if you're in Chicagoland, Sneaky links it up. We only got I think there's only like 15 tickets left. So if you want to get on that, you better get on it quick. And if you're in Indianapolis, Crackers.
Yeah, are you at Crackers this weekend, X? You down there?
I am not at Crackers this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, it's the Sneaky League show is going to be great, man. That February 14th show is popping. The lineup is, we know what it is. Not everybody knows what it is.
It's a fun lineup, man.
It's strong, though.
It's strong. It's a strong date night lineup. It's like, yeah, y'all both. Nobody gonna leave mad. Like, why was he saying all that about women? It's not what it's
Well, I tell you this much: I'm a swing through, and I ain't even on the show. I'm saying you better go and get them tickets. That place is amazing. I was very impressed.
Well, that's the other thing too, is that it's a show that's happening inside of a movie theater, right? It's a stand-up comedy show inside of a movie theater, which is pretty great. There's a bar and lounge that's open before the show and after the show. We'll have a photographer there taking pictures for Valentine's Day, so you can get a picture with your sweetie, or maybe you don't want a picture with who you take out there that night. Maybe maybe you got a sneaky link at Sneaky Links. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's there's a reason the show is on a Tuesday. You know
what's funny, Rob? You know what's funny, Rob? People always usually take their side chick out. Like, you can't take the side chick out on the holiday, right? The weird thing is, your weekend show at Crackers, it's gonna be full of side pieces. It's gonna be side niggas and side chicks galore. And then they gonna come right back. You're gonna see some of the same motherfuckers right back with their main on Tuesday.
That would be hilarious.
Like they ain't heard none of this shit.
I want to find out about who. I want to see who Rob calls out. That's what I want. Hey, nigga, was you just here on Friday? And
hey,
he's gonna be like, what?
Hey, whether he did or didn't, that's gonna be in the show.
Oh man, you better be cold. You just tell a joke and you look at the nigga like, you remember when I said that Saturday, right?
With the other chick you brought over here.
Hell yes. Yes,
this
that
chick
is
way
the
better
shit
than the
for
chick
sure.
you brought Saturday night. Shit, that chick Saturday night didn't laugh for shit.
That is it for sure. Outside of comedy, what's going on with you, man? Anything crazy happening? I mean, we've been out of here for a minute. What's been up?
I have been on a weed hiatus. I am going to smoke weed for the first time. When's the last time you smoked weed, Bobby?
Oh shit. It's been a few weeks, I think.
Yeah, I've been on a weed hiatus since then. And I am excited because I'm breaking tomorrow before my show. I'm breaking, so I'm excited to see what happens, because this is the longest I think I've gone without weed since I started smoking weed.
Excellent.
Regularly. Yeah. So I'm just excited.
What type of differences have you been noticing?
So here's something interesting. My mood is boring. Like, I just realized, I was like, a lot more sensitive when I'm smoking weed all the time. It seems like I be crying at commercials and shit sometimes. Like
Bro.
I'm just kind of like okay. And but I don't like it because I feel like there's emotions there that aren't getting out. Does that make sense?
When you're sober,
when you're not
high.
When I'm not high, like it's not just bad, but like even the highs, the joys, it's almost like I can't remember. There's begins with a P, the mood altering drug that people take because they're too all over the place. I feel like I'm the exact opposite, and weed lets me have like normal emotions, and when I don't have weeds, I'm a goddamn robot or something, which doesn't make sense. That's completely backwards, but that's literally what it's been happening.
I definitely feel like I am a lot more I fall into a lot more of the stoic male concepts when I am not high because I get too much into the programmed of what has to be done and my mind's not free to kind of absorb that larger concept of humanity or empathy or whatever that I think I probably reach when I'm high. Like that's a thing for me, right? Like it's a real, I mean, and I want that emotion. So I
I want the emotion. I like the emotion. I don't dislike it, but I so it's enough that I noticed. I was like, why am I not reacting to this the way that also I did also discover something. Well, I shouldn't discover, it's not the right word. I learned something. Okay, the frequency of the universe, like when they put like satellites out and they get a sound from the universe, the frequency of the universe is at 432 hertz. Or the sound 432 hertz, right? And so I like saw this thing that said like if you listen to like
I've seen those.
Yeah, it's at 432.
There's many of those on TikTok.
Yeah, there's like 1,000 of them, right? And so I tried the shit out because I was like, okay, whatever, woo. And I have slept through the night every night since I started doing that shit. And I never used to sleep through the night. Like I used to wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, go have to pee and all that shit. I'm waking up at like 7. Late, I'm an early riser. Like if the days that you guys see me send you messages at like 5 o'clock in the morning now, it's because I went to sleep at 9. Like it's because I went to sleep early.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like from the first, and this is without weed too. I used to need weed to sleep through the night, so this is no weed. Just listen. I have that playing. I also have thunderstorm sound playing. I have that combination. It literally sounds like I'm on a ship out in the middle of because the thing almost sounds like a foghorn. It's like
yeah.
And the thunderstorm is like I'm on the ship. But
when we say that's the sound of the universe, that what does that mean? Like how
it means like they have like giant radio thing that picks up signals like just from outer space. And the signal that they pick up from outer space is just this constant.
This like outer space is not actually silence.
Yeah, it's not actually silent. The sound that they get back is just like this solid, and it's at 430. It's at 432 exactly. And there's more to that I'm not going to get into on the podcast because I honestly don't understand it enough to explain it. I've like watched the thing like 5,000 times, but trying to explain it back to somebody else, I fuck it up. So I take that as I don't fully understand it. But there's some numerology type shit that.
And here's the thing is, I'm not even sure. Yeah, and here's the thing is, I'm not even sure whether that is even how accurate that might be. Right? Like maybe that's legit, maybe it's not. But if listening to 432 hertz sounds make you sleep through the night, then whether that's the sound of the universe or not isn't necessarily important. All you know is you found a hertz that works to get you to sleep through the night, right? Like
exactly, yeah.
Like that's my whole thing is like maybe not, but for sure you're sleeping, so fuck it.
Yeah, I do. I like it fucked me up because
Bobby got to take all the magic out of everything, don't he? Like, man, yeah,
no, it's like
do or not, as long as you go to sleep.
my point is to take the magic out of it, though. I mean, but like that's not proof of anything, right? Like this thing was just like I saw this video that said that this is and it's like okay, maybe that's real, maybe it's not. I don't know.
I literally played it to disprove the shit, and then I woke up at like 7:30, and I was like, oh. Goddamn. And then it just kept happening. So I was like, I do it now. I play it on my phone and I love it.
Yeah, I mean
So,
that's the real thing that's important though, right? Is the result. That's what I'm saying. That's the real thing that's important. Speaking about important shit, it is Black History Month, so it is a good time to come back. It's a great time to come back. This is how we feel like we want to start bringing things back into Black History Month. What we want to represent. There are some other places that want to represent some things a lot in a lot more of a weird way. There are some. This is where I want to go into a segment we want to call "What in the Black Hell." And this segment is largely just about bad attempts at patronizing blackness by what is essentially white America. There was a new police car released by the Miami police force. This police, and we're going to show you the video of this. So in this video, like if you're watching this, they're unveiling this black car. It's a new police squad that has Black History Month on the side in like red, yellow, and green. It looks like this is like a police car released in Zimbabwe or some shit. Like if that but it's like but it's so bad, and it's like these white dudes who are standing around just like very excited about it. You know what I mean? Like Miami police supports Black History Month, it says on the back of it. Like
there's so much wrong with that. First of all, you just know right now that car is going to be involved in the wrongful death.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if there's any car that could be responsible for black people dying.
If this was a TV show, if this was a movie, and they showed you that at the beginning, you know at the end that motherfucker, that cop is going to end up shooting somebody, hitting somebody with the car, something bad going to happen.
No, they only gonna let that car go to certain places. They ain't letting it go everybody.
That car is just to be sit out in front of the police station.
Yep. You act like that's gonna stop anything. Anyway.
Listen. Wait. Let me just correct your thought. Let me just have this one little space real quick. Let me say this. What happens at the level that it happens is at the level that it happens. They can't help that the little private dudes go around shooting all the niggas. They would prefer it not happen. You understand what I'm saying?
I agree.
So what I'm saying is the top people ain't finna send you to get run over by a car with a Clint.
I understand what you are saying, and what I'm saying to you is that administrative, that upper level motherfucker with the white shirt type cop gonna be driving that motherfucker, show up on the scene and pop somebody because that's just how they do. It's in their blood. He gotta do it. Because it's a nigga on the cop. But no. But here's the real thing that's fucked up about that. Isn't that's gonna happen. The real thing that's fucked up about it is Black History Month's only 28 motherfucking days. You wasted Miami taxpayer money on some shit for 28 days because you can't drive the motherfucker in March. It's not Black History Month anymore.
Right.
So you wasted however much it cost to wrap that car, which had to be somewhere between $500 to $1,000 to wrap that motherfucker. Probably on the class end to $1,000 because it's the police station, so the police force. So they tax the niggas. They ain't give them a discount.
Well, it's somebody's buddy for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you paid on this job.
So you just did that shit for this. Probably a cop probably owned the motherfucking shop that did the rap.
Here's the real obvious problem that I have with this whole thing, right? Is that like nowhere between conception of the idea to the execution of the idea was there any force strong enough to just say, hey y'all. Have we thought about the look this might give? Like there's just no
shit.
There's no right. That's my point. Is that this is one of those moves where the people that they think this is being done for are all looking at this and being like, we were obviously not a part of any of the decision making that went on here, right? There's nobody black. Here's what black people think who see that. If there was a black motherfucker somewhere involved in this decision-making process. He's married to a white lady. He disavows the fact that racism exists. He thinks that everybody just got to work hard, and that's all it is. That's the only black dude who could be involved in something like this.
Make America great again.
Absolutely. That's if you there is no reasonable black person that thinks that any black person of any level of power was in favor of this process and had a way to pull for it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, quick question: Do they make America Great again fitteds?
Oh no, no.
Why would they?
No, there's no way. There's no. It's trucker style hat all day. It's the adjustable back no matter what. Not to be outdone, a police force in Ohio unveiled their Black History Month police car, which has a quote from the great Martin Luther King Jr. that says, "Be the peace you wish to see in the world." Which, of course, as you know, is not actually a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. That is.
That is the advertising agent that was trying to sell you pantyhose in 1983.
Hey, you know what this shit reminds me of? Is I don't know if you guys remember this. This was about 4 or 5 years ago. Ford had a Super Bowl ad, and they tried to quote Martin Luther King in the Super Bowl ad as if Martin Luther King would have like done an ad for Ford. And like when they did the shit, it was immediately like, clearly y'all don't have any black people working at Ford high enough at the level to have shut this shit down. Like, I understand the effort, and I also think black people sometimes, like, when an effort is made, sometimes we do got to meet these motherfuckers halfway because we know they don't know what the fuck they doing. But when the effort is that bad, I understand why we be like, no.
Hold on. Let's also talk about the fact that this is in Columbus, Ohio, where in between 2017 and 2019, over half of the use of force incidents against the police department were against black people, even though they only make up a third of the Columbus population. So,
they shot that 12-year-old boy in Columbus, Ohio.
Of the 36 people that the Columbus police have shot and killed since 2015, 70% are black. So I don't know if a police cruiser getting a bad quote on the back is gonna fix it, right?
Let's just go back to the black dude that had to stand by the Miami truck, because I just saw his picture. So this what happened, right? It's one or two things happen, because this is a slick looking black dude, right? So they just came out like, "Hey Jasper, we got $50, man. Don't you stand right here by this truck or some shit." Or just the one black dude that's in the department that they used, the stunt dummy dude, right? And he didn't know he was going to stand there. He just came to work thinking, "Oh, it's another day." And hey, man, what you standing there by that truck?
Yeah, that guy's not. He's not even a like. He's not in any type of. He's just. Is he like a Park District guy?
I don't know who that. Look at that dude, man. Look at him. That ain't no regular. They had to find a homie. They had to find somebody.
That man ain't even got a gun. There's no gun on his waist. There's nothing. There's no gun on his waist.
He's somebody who's embarrassing his family. That's who he is.
Yeah, but also feeding it tonight. So that is not a thing. Can't be mad. Hey, man, $40 is $40.
You can't never knock the hustle, baby. You can't never knock the hustle.
$40 is $40, right? That's what they say. There's some cool shit that did happen this week for black people. When you got into we're gonna go to the sports side of things to mix this up a little bit. We're gonna get into the lacing them up. LeBron James last night, from when we're recording this, it was last night that it happened. He actually passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the all-time scoring leader in the NBA. We are all three of us men who grew up in the Michael Jordan era in Chicago. We were all alive before he got to Chicago, watched him get drafted by the Bulls, and then watched him become Michael Jordan, basically. So we were here for all of that. And I say that because I say that because I don't think any of us are massive LeBron James fans in and of itself, right? Like
I like him a lot, but
I like him a lot. He's very good. He's very good. But I think one of the things that I think we can all agree on is that the hatred for him is way overdone.
Yeah, honestly, in his entire career, the only thing that I really disagree with him that he did was, it wasn't that he went to Miami, it was the way he did them people in Cleveland. That was the only thing I ever had beef with, like the making the whole spectacle of it and stuff. Nigga, you knew the fuck was going on, and the fact that him and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh go to their graves swearing that they didn't plan it in advance. That's a whole nother conspiracy. But other than that, I think I just saw Draymond Green was like, the NBA has probably never had a better face, and that's probably strong. I'd say Magic and Mike have been pretty great faces, but the difference between Magic and Mike, Magic, feel the way you want to about it, still at the time it was a controversy, the HIV controversy, and Mike had the gambling controversy. LeBron, 20 years, zero controversy, nothing but, an ambassador for the game, except for the way he shit on his own hometown. But then he came back and won a championship. So
the town has pretty much forgiven him for winning a title, though, right? I mean, they've given him a pass. They've said it's fine, I think, right?
Yeah,
Rob,
that's the other big thing about LeBron that he doesn't get enough recognition for is he's from Akron, Ohio, Cleveland, Akron, and he does a fuck ton for Akron and Cleveland. He built a whole academy. He's sending kids to college. He's creating job opportunities. He put fucking TV show that was based in Akron about trying to help people blow up and stuff. His whole crew is, from Akron, and he done, built all those cats up. So that is something that definitely, when you're doing a comparison between him and previous stars, that he is well above. And I don't slight the previous stars. Like, people always want to do the comparison, like, he did this, Michael Jordan never did all this stuff. And it's not even about that. And to me, the thing that it's about is that he was in a position, he saw what they did. He was the first person, when he came into the game, all the other shit was there for him. All he had to do was go be great. And when he went and he got great, and all the money, because he makes way more money than Jordan ever made. By far. Like, he makes more money, and I think he makes more money in 2 seasons right now. His current contract right now, he makes more money in 2 seasons than Jordan made in his entire career. And Jordan made $60 million his last 2 seasons, $30 million a season. And I'm pretty sure 2 of LeBron's contracts right now will crush all of Jordan's contracts. And so the position that he's in to do this type of thing, and with social media and everything else, is different than anybody before him, and he has used it masterfully. He is the blueprint for moving forward of how athletes. Now, people who come after him and don't do that shit, I will shit on you, because you had the blueprint. You had the blueprint, and you got the money.
Rob, what do you have to say about LeBron and his impact on the game?
I just think that I think that in a lot of ways, America still hates success. Like the degree of freedom that he shows makes people uncomfortable. Like when you hear the right tell you to shut up and dribble, like, who are you talking to? You don't have any idea what it takes to be me. And you're not that good of a you. You know what I'm saying? For you to tell me, like, and the mistake that he made at the time, I was mad at him, but that was because I was silly. The fact of the matter is, he's 20-some years old. You want to go to Miami? Why would he stay in Cleveland? You're gonna go down there. It's Miami. Why would you want to stay in Cleveland? You know what I mean?
Right.
Anybody who would get mad at him for that was on some dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like, So
not only just go to Miami, but go to Miami and kick it with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and everything going on. You know what I mean?
And then win 2 championships? What? Yeah, I'm gonna stay here in cold ass Cleveland and go hang out at the flats. I love Cleveland. Let me tell you something. I love Cleveland. That's how I know where to go, because I go there all the time. But if you only got a choice of Cleveland and Miami.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I look at it in a couple different ways. I'm a huge Jordan stan as far as what he did in the game and his thing as a competitor, and how he changed what being a competitor could look like for the NBA. Like, what really being a dog was really about. Jordan was the first, it was unbelievable, his unwillingness to allow that team to lose once it got to a certain point, right? And that is a thing that has been duplicated by guys like Kobe and LeBron. And it's still not their own thing yet, right? There has been an evolution of that. I think LeBron as a player completely changed what it could be to be a 6'8", 240, 250 pound guy in the NBA. He is Karl Malone size wise, and is not Karl Malone at all ability wise,
game wise.
And it just, it's a completely different type of athlete that you can be, to be a guy who could go and be a left guard for the Washington Commanders, or you could be the starting small forward for the Los Angeles Lakers, right? Like that's all you got to do is you learn how to shoot when you're young. That's it. That's all you got to do. And like from the time, the thing, and then so like from a statistical standpoint, yeah, there's more 3-pointers shot now, but that's also a 6'8" guy who then shot those 3-pointers, right? That's not a 6'2" guy. That's not Steph Curry's impressive for the distance that he shoots from, but a point guard shooting 3-pointers is an expected thing. That guy being as good as he is for that long, this guy's been doing this for 20 years. He's never had a season where he didn't score 25. Like, what? This nigga is still scoring 30. This guy's 38 years old. He's averaging 30 points a game now. He's averaging 30 now. He's not slowing down at all. He's still
And what's crazy is he's still playing out on the perimeter. He might have 4 or 5 more seasons if he wants to as a power forward.
Yeah, he can easily change his game and play longer if he wants to. And then the bigger thing for me, and this is what, as Jordan's my on the court GOAT, but like if someone said which out of all the top 5 or 6 guys would you want to be cool with, Magic's a tough one to pick. To not pick, right? Like Magic's tough to not pick because Magic's a good fucking time, right? But as far as like dudes who are like LeBron is it. Because this man has been around for 20 years, and like you said, there is not one scandal. There is no caught in a room somewhere with a lady, no fight with his wife somewhere in the public. His children adore him. His kids can't wait to play with him. They are trying so hard to play with their dad. That is insane for a dude who's been around that long and has had that much access, that much opportunity. There is no story going around nowhere. There's no secret thing. There's one little story about when he was in China when that shit happened with Daryl Morey, and that man has a job to protect, and maybe someday when he's not playing basketball, he can say something that he wants to say, but that is a man who is under contract to a situation and has to be stuck in a situation that maybe is not what he likes, but isn't up for him to decide. So like, hold on. My thing with this is like, this guy, and you look at what he has done for not only the community, but the schools he's built, the scholarships he's given away, the shit he's done for boys and girls. Like the man is impeccable as a human being.
Player
it is
freedom.
Unbelievable.
Player mobility is basically LeBron. Player mobility in NBA, which I think is a very good thing. I know some people don't like it. I love it. LeBron did that. If
the impact that he's had.
They were able to do that before LeBron. People just didn't do it.
Then you have other people, like a good friend of mine just continues to want to say that the man is on steroids. I'm like, my God, bro. What about him makes you think steroids? Like
it's not like he just got this big. This man's been this big forever. On the flip side of things, Kyrie Irving got traded this week. I mean, from the Brooklyn Nets to the Dallas Mavericks, he was traded for Spencer Dinwiddie, a pocket full of Jolly Ranchers. And,
just go.
Dorian Finney-Smith and so, a couple other guys that got 3 names and shit that you ain't never heard of.
Take that amazing talent and just go.
I mean, has there ever been what a contrast between where LeBron is right now and what Kyrie is that an appropriate looking contrast of 2 different types of careers going on?
I mean, especially when you consider that Kyrie the only championship, and I hate that people keep bringing up that Kyrie has a championship because yes, he did hit the game-winning basket in that, and I'm not saying he wasn't a key contributor. I'm not trying to say that, but God damn it, that was LeBron. And that was LeBron all the motherfucking way. Like, giving that motherfucker credit. He was like a 2nd or 3rd year player at the time. Like, they keep trying to make it sound like he controlled the team and ran the team. He was not Rajon Rondo at the time. He was doing whatever the fuck LeBron said do. I need to say this because motherfuckers always want to say people are hating and stuff like that. So I'm going to qualify what I say right now. Kyrie Irving may be the most skilled player in the NBA right now, top to bottom, as far as his athletic ability, his handles, his shot. He can get a shot off anywhere. He can shoot threes. He can take it to the cup. He can cross motherfuckers over. Like him and Steph Curry.
He's really good.
Yeah, him and Steph. Yeah, he has the same package as Steph Curry, and it might be a little bit better because he can yak on a motherfucker.
The problem is not that he isn't good at basketball.
The problem is not on the court. It's between his ears, and He is. I literally just had a friend that's a big time Bucks fan, and he was hoping, ask me if I wanted the Bulls to go after Kyrie or whatever, and I said, "Fuck no," because no matter how good he makes the team,
that was me.
At some point, he's going to do something to fuck it up. He is that character in the movie. He's Paulie in Rocky. You knew Paulie was going to do something to fuck it up for Rocky at some point in the movie, because that's who he is. That's the only reason why his character is there, and that's who Kyrie Irving is. No matter how good it goes, the Dallas Mavericks will make it to the final, and that motherfucker go out and start saying, abortion should be illegal for everybody. And like, fuck does this got to do with basketball? How the fuck are you bringing this up now? He's going to the final. Why would you bring this distraction up now? It's like he doesn't. It's like, if there's not a distraction, he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I just think
that's my rant.
I think they well, first of all, if you're that good, you do what you want to do. Because this is America. And at the end of the day, he will sell tickets. And I know all of he did this, he did that, and him and Hitler hung out on the corner of 63rd Street and all this other shit. But at the end of the day, as long as he is selling tickets and winning, somebody gonna want him. And
he's not winning. That's the problem.
It doesn't even matter. He's still selling tickets. You understand? At the end of the day, it's about the money. You how many of you niggas was Cubs fans for so many years? They never won shit and they still sold out. Huh?
If he's able to play, if he's not doing something to keep himself suspended for 8 games here, or half a season
that's the other
there.
thing. These things do not happen. Wait. These things do not happen in a vacuum. Now, I ain't saying he ain't whatever he is. He is that, whatever that is. But, it's people going around here looking for him to start some shit. Just
he's got millions of followers on social media. So if he puts out a thing that says that Jewish people are liars, then like you're gonna get some backlash, brother. That's just
if that was the first thing that he did, it would not have blown up like that. The reason why the Jewish thing blew up like it did, it wasn't because anybody even thought he was anti-Semitic. You watch the fucking footage. They gave him so many chances just to say, no, I'm not anti-Semitic. Like, I just like this video. I thought this video was good. That's all he had to say. But because when you have a track record, if your woman has a track record of cheating on niggas, and then she don't come home for 2 nights, you have questions. You have questions. He has a track record of doing goofy shit and saying goofy shit and create this like a whole media circus. And the media's job when he does that is to like, you gonna keep saying this stupid shit? Well, this shit's going, just like you said, he's selling tickets. He sells clicks. People click on stories because Kyrie Irving said some stupid shit. So the media is gonna keep promoting that shit, and that's bad for the team. Because anytime they talking about anything other than how y'all gonna win this game, it's distracting to the team. Kevin Durant hated answering those questions. Like, Kevin Durant was answering those questions like when your mom used to call you to come pick up some shit in the kitchen because you didn't put a cup exactly where it's supposed to go when you was 12, and you be like,
here's the thing about
Kevin Durant looked every time he asked one of those questions.
Here's the thing about being in the NBA, and I think if you remember watching The Last Dance, you kind of get a glimpse of what this looks like. It's like the grind of those 82 games and playoffs and trying to get to a title requires so much focus every day on the task at hand that when you got this other shit jumping off, and I don't just mean like the grind of the games and all that shit, but like you have all these other responsibilities. You got to be at this fucking holiday thing with these kids, and you got to go to this, and it's all stuff that you want to do because you want to help, but also like you're trying to be focused on beating the Knicks this weekend. And then you got the Clippers coming in on Tuesday, and they got this motherfucker who's big and sweaty you got to fuck with the whole game. And then you got Steph Curry, and you got to chase this motherfucker around. And then your point guard pops off and says some crazy shit. Now you're answering shit about that instead of trying to figure out how you're going to guard Steph Curry. That is just not a way that you win. You don't win titles that way. What do you hear happening in Milwaukee right now? Nothing. What they do in Boston when they caught this motherfucker fucking with people on the staff? They kicked that motherfucker out the next morning, installed the cat, and that was it. It was a wrap. There was nobody. They talked about that shit for 2 days, and then they were like, "This was happening. This was going on. We out." We just gonna go do the work now. And the player, nothing happens with the players on the team. Don't nobody. And I'm not saying if an issue comes up that isn't worth talking about, you talk about it. But when you create those unnecessary distractions that take the focus away from the only thing that you were trying to do during this span of your time on the planet, you're fucking up the program. And if you go and you do that somewhere else, you're gonna fuck up that program too. And you're gonna sell tickets for a little while, and then people are gonna be mad because you don't ever get to come out and play because you're fucking up too much. And
Well,
like,
I'll tell you this.
you either learn the maturity of it or you don't.
Maybe I guess you're right. I don't know, but I will tell you this: Bobby Brown was selling tickets.
Bobby Brown worked for himself. He worked for himself. Right? Yeah.
Ain't no team. Ain't no team. What I'm gonna be interested to see is I would not be surprised if Kyrie Irving was playing in China next year, because he's a free agent. He's a free agent at the end of this season, and I just find it hard to believe that an NBA team will pay this motherfucker what he's supposed to get for the level of player that he is. He's supposed to get like a $40 million a year contract. He's supposed to get at least 3 to 4 years of $40 million a year.
I think what this trade is an opportunity for us to see. I think what the trade is not. He's got a half a season here with the Mavericks. He's got a team that could be, in the mix down the stretch. They have a superstar in Luka Doncic. They've got some pieces there. They got Jason Kidd, so they got a real head coach who don't take a whole lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like Jason Kidd got his own attitude and belief on how some shit could go. He also got himself out of the Nets pretty quickly, right? Like he also lasted one season he was with the Bucks and the Nets and did not last neither of them places too long either. So, we are going to see what happens with Kyrie for the rest of the season. I think that will determine what happens. If it's a good rest of the next year and everything goes okay and he plays hard and they try, maybe they don't have to win. But if you get basketball Kyrie for the next few months into the end of the season, he's gonna get a contract either with the Mavs. Or maybe the Mavs love him and they go, "Yeah, man, this is where you got to be." That's possible.
I agree with you. But I agree with you only based off the fact that a hot bitch that ain't shit is always gonna have a dude. Yeah, a sexy guy that's trash is always gonna have a woman, because there's gonna be always somebody that believes that they can change him. Like
somebody's gonna need a point guard, right?
I wouldn't be surprised to see him standing right next to LeBron next season. I really wouldn't.
Yeah. Speaking about guys running point in another sport, this Sunday is going to be the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is going to be going on. It's the Kansas City Chiefs, and they are taking on who the hell are they playing? Philadelphia Eagles. That's how attached to sports I am right now.
I had to think about it too.
But this is a neat feat that has caused. This is kind of a dual segment because this also includes Uday Mad, because white people are so upset about the fact that anybody's pointing this out. It will be the first Super Bowl featuring 2 black starting quarterbacks in Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. And first of all, as a member of the Beige tribe, I would like to say that the backlash against the blackness of Patrick Mahomes is uncalled for and will not be accepted at this time. Okay. Anybody being like, but how I've seen multiple comments and multiple posts where people are asking, well, how black is he? Is he black enough to be considered a black quarterback? And it's like every Super Bowl this nigga won, y'all are sure counting as black Super Bowls, right? Super Bowls won by black quarterbacks.
All you got to do to know how black Patrick Mahomes really is see his dad once. If you see his dad once, you know he's black. And I'm not even talking about the color of his dad's skin. His dad's my complexion, but that's not what I'm talking about. When you see his dad, that's a nigga.
Right. You see a picture of him, you got a picture of him now. That's a picture of him, so you can see. And
that's you know immediately. Like,
look pretty black to me.
Where he came from? That's his own.
Yeah. That motherfucker black.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I feel a couple of things about this. I do think it's great that the NFL is having this happen. That we got to this point where we get 2 black quarterbacks. The history of the league and I remember as a kid reading all those stories about Warren Moon and how they tried to make a bunch of black guys, wide receivers and running backs who could actually throw from where they came from. Like when you're playing in the neighborhood, somebody's got to play fucking quarterback. So obviously somebody in the hood was playing quarterback that was no longer playing quarterback by the time they got to high school and college in the 60s and 70s and shit, right?
My cousin actually, they turned him into a linebacker and he played in the NFL.
Right. See? I mean, that is not a rare story. That was how it worked for a long time. And then you had guys like Vince Evans and Doug Williams who came through, and Warren Moon who came through. Warren Moon, honestly, probably one of the first real pocket passing black quarterbacks that people saw, because that was the original fear, was that black quarterbacks would run too much, that they weren't smart enough to understand the position, and that their athleticism would be best used elsewhere.
Vince Evans.
Yeah, that was the first. Vince Evans.
I don't know if you guys remember. By the way, two things. I just found this out. Did you guys know that Terry Bradshaw, it was a black quarterback on Pittsburgh Steelers, and Terry Bradshaw replaced him? I did not know that. It's apparently some brothers from the 70s that will swear that brother was better than Terry Bradshaw. Because Terry Bradshaw, technically, he won four Super Bowls, but nobody ever really considered him a great quarterback.
He is still not. He was never considered a great quarterback. Even at the time, he was not considered a great quarterback.
He got of all the quarterbacks that that has more than 2 or 3 Super Bowls, his name is never brought up as being like this amazing quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He just had a crazy.
There are guys with no Super Bowls that get more credit for being a good quarterback. Dan Marino is considered a better quarterback than Terry Bradshaw, and Terry Bradshaw has 4 Super Bowls and Dan Marino has 0. Okay, so that's a lot to be said.
Bomani Jones has a great new TV show. I don't know if you guys have a chance to check it out, but he talks about this. And he basically goes, it's amazing in a sport that a quarterback is the most valuable thing in the sport, that it took them until 2020 or mid 2000s to figure out that maybe having somebody athletic back there is a good idea. These motherfuckers that couldn't take 2 steps left or right for decades.
And what's funny is the way the game has changed, like the explosion in the game in the last few years in scoring has been because you have athletic quarterbacks who A, can throw the ball 60 yards, but B, could break out. Like I think I read a stat that said Justin Fields has had like 3 or 4 runs of 60 yards this year.
So look,
he set records.
They even make excuses for people who aren't talented. Well, he's a powerful pocket passer.
Yeah.
We gotta have 300.
Bro, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah. We gotta get 4 giant niggas to stand in front of this dude so he can show off his one talent.
And
he can throw the ball into a little spot.
And the giant dudes that we want to stand in front of them, what do we want them to have? Happy feet.
Right. Gotta have happy feet.
Rob, this almost had as much to do with me stop playing football as the racism in Louisville. They wanted to make me a tackle because I was so athletic and fast that they needed me to protect Browning Nagel. He was our quarterback at the time, and they wanted me to protect him. And I was like, I refuse to do that shit. I was like, I'm a defensive end, motherfucker. I'm not blocking. I'm hitting. But that at the time, my dumb ass didn't know that left tackle is the second highest paid position in the NFL.
Yeah. Also, some of the smartest fucking people on the there are no big guys who are smarter than offensive linemen. They are usually the smartest people. They're all new. Yeah. If you ever look up the majors of some of those guys on the offensive line, it's like nuclear physicists. It's just like they're all trying to be giant astronauts and fucking scientists. It's crazy
because the defense is just 11 diesel black dudes that all foaming at the mouth, looking to try to kill the one motherfucker that your only job is to protect this one white motherfucker. The linemen have to be excited to have athletic quarterbacks. It's not just black quarterbacks now. There's Josh Allen. There's a couple other white boys that are very athletic. But having an athletic quarterback behind you has to feel good to them big motherfuckers because they're gonna get beat. You just can't not get beat. But to know your quarterback back there dancing. Save my check, baby. Save my check. I just bought a house.
After you get called for illegal man downfield a few times, but once y'all get used to each other.
There's a couple times is this nigga running? I think he's running. Nah, he ain't running. Shit. The Grammys went on this past week as well. That's usually a great opportunity to watch Black people get snubbed in an award show. That's I don't really watch the Grammys a whole lot because it's always a disappointing experience. It's never right, and people always complain about it. But it's also a sham award show in the first place, and so it's like I think I posted something this week where I said it was hilarious to watch people get like claim a show is rigged every year, right? Every year they're like the Grammys are rigged, it's bullshit, it's a bullshit award show, and then they watch it, and then some shit they want to happen doesn't happen, and then they're real mad that it didn't happen. It's like you just spent all the time before the shit started saying it was garbage and not real. So like, why would you expect good shit? Expect shit.
That's like,
I think here's what I think the problem is, and they might even do this shit on purpose to draw, to keep controversy, because controversy keeps the shit in there. But I posted something about it that it's just inconsistent. Like Beyonce has 32 Grammys, the most Grammys of any person ever, and she's never won Best Album. How the fuck is that possible? How is it that you have more Grammys than anybody ever? Every album she has like 2 or 3, 4 Grammys. 1, 2 or 3, 4 Grammys, right? And you never had one Best Album? You got 3, 4 Grammys off the motherfucker, and it couldn't be Best Album? Like, so I was like, they're not
because the award show is bullshit. Yeah. Like it's like being mad that like the WWE didn't have the ending you wanted. Like
that's what I was about to say. That's
a show, my nigga. The anger comes from this place of like seeking edification from this award show that we've already determined is bullshit. Like it shouldn't affect it. I know it doesn't affect how much you like the album if you liked it.
It does not. Actually,
and so
it's weird. I can't remember. I think it's the American Music Awards. I think that one is strictly done by sales, like whoever sold the most. But I don't even know how that works anymore because people have so many damn streaming services and shit. Like, how do you even know what's really real?
Here's the thing: is that singing is an art. An art is subjective, and best is one of these things that I find to be very hard to pin down when it comes to something like that. And so while it's cool to award people for being like, hey man, this was a really awesome album and we like to give you an award for it, like this being upset because somebody got an album of the year or an artist of the year or whatever is like, well, I mean, okay, so that's their artist of the year. Great for them. My artist of the year ain't none of these niggas. So you know what I mean?
Like, Bobby Hill's artist of the year in 2022.
Sleep Sounds 2022 is my artist of the year.
Yeah, well,
Sleep Sounds 2022 is my artist of the year. That's the shit I bumped more than anything else last year. That's the shit that, when I'm looking for help, that's where I go. Sleep Sounds.
it still helps to sell shit, you know. And
I mean, the recognition is good, but I don't think Beyonce's hurting for selling shit. Her ticket price is through the roof. You know, niggas selling off organs and shit just to go see Beyonce for real. You know, so that nobody's hurt for that.
The good news about the Grammys was that God Did performance was dope as fuck.
So yeah, it's a great spot to see good performances. I did watch that. I thought that was incredible.
You watched
especially
what?
for the. So there was the show ended with a performance of God Did with Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, DJ Khaled, John Legend. It was a really fun performance. It was a great way to, especially for a show that doesn't, like for an award ceremony, it doesn't really honor hip hop the way it's supposed to. So, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they don't really, hip hop is always treated like it's like a fetish music industry. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
like, so,
it's like porn. It's like porn and film. Once you do porn, you can't do shit else.
You did hip hop?
Can't be artist of the year if you.
So in relation to that, Bobby, and I think it might. I'm not saying it's Jay-Z's fault, but Jay-Z did, like, he in that song God Did, he has a 4-minute verse. He has a verse that's like as long as a whole song by itself. So the song there's an 8-minute. It's an 8-minute song, right? And they close the show doing that song. Well, if you watch the tribute, the 50-year tribute to hip hop, where they had like 20 different artists or something doing like snippets of stuff. If you watch that and you know those songs, every one of those songs was played at a faster tempo than they actually play those songs. And the thing that's fucked up is all of those artists are like 60, nigga. The motherfuckers was out of breath as fuck. Like, you hear them, you see them, they trying to do. That's it, goddamn. Chuck, like it's short. Yeah.
Like, how much cocaine Flavor Flav had to do to be on that stage?
Them niggas. If the beat per minute was supposed to be 100, that shit was on like 130, 140. Them niggas, without them old motherfuckers, was out of breath as fuck. And I was like, damn. I was like, it's because Hov did 8 minutes on God did. They had to speed through this shit.
I do want to close out on this. And the last thing we want to talk about today, we're going to get into some politicals. The State of the Union address was just had by Joe Biden. We've been waiting a long time to hear his summation of what these first 2 years have kind of been up to and what the plan was for the next two. It was the first time with this new Congress with Kevin McCarthy sitting behind him, who I've never seen a man look so much like he didn't want to be in a place for the job. That man looked like he was like, what the fuck did I do? I am stuck here now for 2 years. This is a terrible idea. What a bad decision I've made. But anyway, Biden had the State of the Union address. He addressed a number of things. I thought for a man who at times I felt was dealing with the stutter issue he had, and at times just, was 80, right? Like there's like some of that's like I don't want to make I will not make fun of the fact that the man has a stuttering issue. I think that's a cruel thing to do. I understand he's got a stuttering issue, but he is also 80. Right, like
so you make fun of him being old, but not anything else.
I just feel like, well, there is a time when you lose your grip on what is actually supposed to be happening. There's nothing wrong with being old. It's just maybe running the country is something that's a little beyond what you should be spending your time on. You know what I mean? Like maybe, but I will say that although I was, and I think at least I know XL and I agree on this. I'm going to ask you about this, Rob. But although this would not have been my pre 2020 pick as the man, right? Like, and don't get me wrong, I still feel like there's a lot of problems with what has gone on. I think their solutions to everything is not awesome. Their solutions to inflation, but we could have done a hell of a lot worse over these last 2 years of who's been actually running the show.
Yes, I think that the man that's driving us down the highway to hell is doing a much better job than the last.
It's a much slower trip at the moment. He slowed the bus down.
We can see the flames now. Before the shit was all blurry. Like a roller coaster and shit. Now it's like when you're going up the roller coaster.
Yeah.
You can take pictures and shit.
Yeah, man, do a little breakdown. He threw a little breakdown. There's an in-flight meal all of a sudden that showed up. It was just like, okay. Yeah, I agree, Rob. We are, and there is a sense where Richard Wolff, who's one of my favorite economists, was just on Brianna Joy Gray's podcast recently. And if you want to understand how inflation really works and how you can combat inflation and what's going on right now at the debt ceiling, it's actually a great listen. It's like an hour long. It's really incredible. But he spoke about the fact that like these methods that we are using are usually what is happening when an empire is falling, not rising. The fact that China is in the position that it is in right now, and we are in our position where we are worried about this deficit, and China is constantly growing and expanding and breaking into new places, that we're tied up with all this money that's going into this war with Ukraine. These are things that the fact that we are blaming everybody else for the problems that are going on here economically, those are usually civilizations in decline. That's what England did when shit started going bad, And then they lost a war to the United States in 1776 and then came back in 1812 and tried to get to us again and lost that motherfucker too. You know what I mean? Like they didn't just give up on 1776. Those motherfuckers came back in 1812. People hear about the War of 1812, but they don't that's just a thing people talk. That's just a thing they say. They don't realize no, England tried to come back on a motherfucker later. Right? Like
it's like the difference between It's like the difference between Reconstruction and reconciliation.
But it was over by then. You know what I mean? It was a wrap for England. They didn't have that. It wasn't the War of 1812 to 1815, my nigga. That shit was a year. That's all the fight they had, and then they were done. And you watched England just slowly, and then they needed our help. And we are in an economic position right now where this is not the inflation is not the only answer. And I think one of the interesting things that Richard Wolff brought up is he brought up what Nixon did back in the 70s, which was put a freeze on shit. And he goes, he didn't have to deal with inflation. He just told companies, if you raise the price on anything for the next 90 days, I'll throw your ass in jail. And he goes, if you demand higher wages from your job in the next 90 days, I'll throw your ass in jail. And he goes, and it fucking killed inflation on the spot. You didn't have to raise interest rates by a penny. It didn't change what families were making or being able to do. Nothing changed. Everybody held on for 90 days and it fixed all that shit. And so, like, there's other ways you can solve it than the path they have. But in regards to State of the Union, I thought that his back and forth and the way he boxed the Republicans in on Medicaid and Social Security was brilliant. I mean,
that's going to be legendary. I think that's something political science people are going to talk about in college level and high school level courses of the time during the State of the Union with the president. Like, because the only real conflict that is happening right now is the Republicans, we're spending too much, even though we're spending money that they approve. And the debt ceiling, for anybody who doesn't understand the debt ceiling watching the show, has nothing to do with spending more money. It's paying for money we already spent.
It's a thing we made up. It's a thing we made up so there could be an argument.
Yeah, basically. There's no reason for it to exist. There's no
100%. That's what it is. No other country. This is not a thing that other countries deal with. There's one other country that does it, and it's literally a thing that we made up so we could try to get out of paying for shit that we'd agreed to pay for.
And it absolutely makes no sense because the time to figure that shit out is before you sign the bill, not after the fact. After we've already committed to the shit, because what the truth of it is, as much as the GOP talks about how we spend too much and cut money, I'm gonna say two things about this real quick. I say this all the time, but I repeat it because it's the fucking facts. The national deficit right now, I think, is 32 trillion. I could be off. I didn't look up the number before. It's just off the top of my head. It was less than 3 trillion when I graduated college in 2020. 2020. In 2000. In 2000, it was less than 3 trillion when I graduated college in 2000. You can Google this shit. Nothing in America has changed. We added $30 trillion in debt. And so when they give you these huge debt, like, what's going to happen to our grandchildren and shit like that? I damn near have grandchildren. And $30 trillion has been added and nothing has changed in America. In fact, America is probably better now than it was 23 years ago when I graduated college.
The deficit fell to 1.4 trillion last year.
I'm sorry, that's the budget deficit. I'm sorry, what's the
one is annual.
Debt?
One of them is
I'm talking about
annual, and the other
the overall.
I'm trying to find it.
Let me just say this. I thought, from what I did see, because I didn't watch the whole thing, but what I saw, I just saw an 80-year-old dude schooling a bunch of dummies. Like it wasn't not that he wasn't extraordinary doing it, but it ain't that hard to outsmart Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know what I mean? It's not like it's a Mensa meeting. Like, these motherfuckers are stupid. They just say no just to say no. So if you say, okay, so it's just like when you remember that thing where you would say one thing long enough to try to get the person to say it again, then you say the opposite. Like, it's the rabbit.
The Bugs Bunny.
The Bugs Bunny. That's all he did was Bunny their ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me,
but nobody does that though. Nobody ever does that.
No,
they always
exactly.
They never close them in on that. He got them to a position where they had to agree that they were going to keep their hands off of Social Security and Medicare live on television in the middle of a State of the Union address.
That don't mean they still do it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter though. They can play that shit for every time they run for office. That's going to play. That is a part of every commercial now they can run out there, because he boxed them in by talking about this idea that somebody had. And when they spoke out saying he was a liar, he was like, oh, okay, that's not what we doing then? Great. I'm glad we on the same team.
It won't be a problem,
masterful. That is a masterful thing.
The other thing that he did that was masterful that I don't think is getting enough love is when he was talking about the infrastructure bill, and he was talking about how Republicans, even though they didn't vote for the bill, a lot of them calling from their districts, like, that when we gonna get this money. And he's like, I'm still gonna pay the money because I'm the president for all America. And I'll see you at the groundbreaking. I'll see you at the groundbreaking is bars. Not one of those motherfuckers want is to have Biden standing there with that fucking new project that they're trying to tout that they didn't vote for. When the fucking Air Force One, the Air Force One coming to us.
They will be there. They will be there. Yeah, yes. They will fucking be right next to that nigga.
Yeah. I want to stand there, and they not gonna be able to take full credit for it because he's gonna say in the speech he didn't vote for it, but I still came and did it.
I want to say this about the deficit before we move on. The people who have a bunch of money want there to be a deficit. That is where the value in their money is. Because when the U.S. borrows money, they borrow from China and they borrow from the wealthy ass fucking Americans with treasury bonds. And when the U.S. has a great deficit, those treasury bonds are worth a lot more fucking money than when they don't. When there's not a deficit, those treasury bonds ain't worth shit. There's no reason for the U.S. to have them out to anybody when they buy them back. That's what getting out of deficit is. Getting out of deficit is buying back treasury bonds. Treasury bonds are the safest fucking thing you can have your money in. That's why rich people have them. So
that's why not raising the debt ceiling would fuck up the economy, because you would make the safest thing that you could possibly all of a sudden
not worth shit. That's why it's never real, though. That's why it's not real. That when Trump put those tax cuts in, and everybody was like, it's going to fuck people a decade from now. This is where the fucking is. The fucking is now. These are the bills we got to pay because of that shit back then. That's what they're trying to fight against paying off right now. And so that's just not going to happen. But I will say this. It was a great speech. I don't know what, Rob, as you said, I'm not sure where it's going to end up actually going, because the job of the Democrats is to get out there and say all the good things. And then whether those actually turn into something that becomes productive is the real question, right? Like, how much will they actually keep big business and corporate interests out of that by the time it's all said and done? That's the question, right?
Absolutely. I don't see it being any difference. At the end of the day, damn religion, damn everything else. It's always about capitalism. Damn whether it rains and your house blew over. Damn whether you drink skunk water that burns your lungs. They don't care about none of that.
Yeah, shit.
You can still go down to Walmart and get some crayons.
Well, hopefully it becomes. Here's the thing: if some of that shit goes great, I think the semiconductor building here and the expansion of jobs, I think, is a great opportunity for a lot of things. I'd like to see more broad ownership in those areas, right? Like, I'd love to see an expansion. I don't think that's probably going to happen, but hey, we can all hope and dream. Speaking about hopes and dreams, where can you hope people catch you this weekend, Rob?
I am going to be at Crackers Comedy Club at the Save Toby Jones Tour. Stop by the Save Toby Jones Tour shop and get yourself a hoodie or a t-shirt or something. It's real sexy. Go and get you.
Where can they find that?
SaveTobyJonesTour.com. Also, you can go to RobertLHines.com. And you can also follow me on YouTube at Robert_L_Hines.
That is excellent. My man XL, what's going on, baby? Where you gonna be at?
I could be found at XL Comedy Show on IG or Xavier Lamont on Facebook. I don't really fuck with Twitter anymore. I mean, if you want to, you can hit me on Twitter, but I'm probably not gonna respond because fuck that nigga. And I'm back to doing shows. Like I said, we got next week the Sneaky Links. I'm also on Chicago Underground Comedy coming up in a couple weeks, and I got something else next week, but I don't remember what it is, so don't worry about it.
Nice. You can find me at Mocha_Jesus on Twitter and IG. I will be at Laughing Liberally at Comedy Sports Milwaukee this Saturday, February 11th. It's a great show. Come and check that out. A bunch of great comics up there, including Greg Bach, my homie. Then I will be at Sneaky Links on the 14th for my man XL. Great secret lineup. These comics are people that you've seen on TV, that you've heard on podcasts. When you see them, you'll be so happy that you showed up. Get tickets by going to @SneakyLinksComedy on Instagram. There's a link there that'll lead you to tickets. If you use the code word LOVE, you can get $5 off, and that is at the the Hollywood Palm Cinema in Naperville, Illinois. And then we've just got a bunch more great shit coming back after that. It's been a tremendous show getting back to this, guys. It's been so fun to be back here. You can find us at New OGs on all social media as well. And hopefully you'll catch us on our next episode when we come back. Hopefully we'll be back here doing this every week again for you guys. Until then, we'll catch you guys next time. That's what's up.
Peace.
New OGs.
Bitch, you better play your role. I feel like Nelly when he dropped that country grammar. Why you so mad that I can't fit you on my schedule?